Ribbit! Hey guys, Froggy here, back again to update you on my week and what I've been doing. Alright, yeah, let's get into it. So let's talk about studying. So I set out last week to go through the Crush Live Poker's Fast Track Poker module, taught by Key Lee, and I've gone through 1/3 of it. So there are 10 modules, they break it down into modules. One of them is like an advertisement for an app that they have, so it's really only 9 modules. And I've gone through 3 of them fully. So I've gone through exactly 1/3 of the course. It's gone well. The first 2 were about pre-flop, which admittedly pre-flop's hard for me because a lot of times it's just talking about charts, and so a lot of it doesn't sink in. Like I get the basic concepts that people teach, so when they start like showing specific graphs, it's always different than what other people's like pre-flop charts are, so it's always a little bit hard to like delve too deep into. Like it feels like that's not how I play my pre-flop. And also, like, this course is a little bit older, so they play pre-flop differently. But it was just like general videos. I wasn't too interested, admittedly. I should just go through it. But then they had like a basic math module where they would go over pot odds and basic math things like blockers, equity. And the way that he explained it, he used like visuals. I thought it was it was a very good refresher on all these concepts, and I thought it helped solidify them a little bit more in my head. So I really enjoyed that module. That one was good. And I'll just keep going through this in the coming weeks. Hopefully I'll be able to finish up in a week or 2 and I can move on to other things. But yeah, it's been going well so far with studying. I want to mention a thought that I had with studying actually when I was playing live poker. This is more of like a personal thing I do, but I think everybody's affected by this. I noticed that when I try to go into some kind of endeavor, like learning a skill, learning a hobby, whatever it is, the beginning is when I rapidly improve and when I feel like very good about myself because like I have like no ego going into it, and I accept that I'm terrible, and so I'm willing to accept all the teachings from the people who are better than me. And then as I get more information, I start getting an ego to me, and I'm like like I'm better than other people, like I know more than them, I'm a better learner, and I start getting like solidified in my ways. And then that's when I kind of hit my point where I've reached like the level of competency that I'm going to be at whatever that thing is, and I'm never going to get better because my mindset's wrong. I'm sure this happens to other people. I think this is probably just a normal human thing where like you get egotistical about like how you play, and you think like, oh, I'm playing well, it's they're playing bad. And I think this is clearly a thing in poker because I see it all the time in live where it's like you played with that hand, and then I do that too. Where I'm like, you played with that hand, and then I realize like, well, actually it wasn't that bad of a hand, and you actually played it pretty well. And against me specifically, that's like a perfect exploit against me. So it's kind of realizing like how to get out of your own ego and like not think like you're the best because I'm clearly terrible. So it's like, why would I think I'm the best? But it's like I get this like ego thing. And I've been feeling it recently where I've been finally having decent success. Like last week I had my first online poker win, and it was my biggest ever. I've been winning in live poker recently a lot. And so I've been getting like this, it's called winner's tilt, I've heard, where it's just, well, winner's tilt is more just like you're playing spewy because you're winning so much you don't think anybody can beat you. But I'm kind of just more having winner's tilt in life in poker where I'm like getting complacent. And I think this is a common thing too, where when you start winning you get complacent, and you stop like being hungry for information and learning and improving yourself. And then I think you stagnate and start like losing. And I do this very early on in processes. Like I played chess before, and like I improved a lot in the beginning, and then I stagnated at like whatever it was, 1400 ELO in live chess. And then like many hobbies, like video games, like I'll get good in the beginning, and then I'll hit like a level that's like top 20, 10% of players, which is like that's good, but like you know you can get better. Like there's no reason that you should stagnate there. And I've noticed this in the last couple of years of like trying to break out of that habit, and it's allowed me to propel myself higher in certain hobbies if I like really actively try to fight against that mentality. And that's actually a big reason why I created this poker journal for myself, was to kind of break out of that habitual mindset that I go into, where it's kind of a weekly reminder for me to like sum up what I did for the week, and then think about what I did poorly, what I did good, and where I'm going forward for the next week. And so why I bring this up is I'm realizing that I'm kind of falling into this where I'm like not focusing as much on studying. Especially in online poker, I used to always be confused what I was doing, but I finally have some semblance like, okay, I should see bet in general here. I should kind of do this. And because I kind of understand what I'm doing, I'm not like hungry anymore for that knowledge, but I still barely know what I'm doing. A lot of times I'm like, I don't know why I'm betting this or that or the other thing. There's so much that I have to learn, but I've hit enough of a point where I'm okay with how I'm playing, and it's causing me to stagnate, which is causing me to not do well. So I'm acknowledging this, and I want to change my mentality of that of like, I'm just here to like play poker to get to a certain point of skill and then just play like that for the rest of my life. I would rather take it from that mindset and move it to more of, I'm a lifelong learner. I just always want to be learning. I want to question my plays at all times. I always want to be striving to improve. Because I think that will take me further and make me enjoy the game more, make me play better. Which is like the most important thing to play good poker. So yeah, that's been my revelation with studying and also how studying has gone. Now on to playing poker. So online poker and live poker. Let's talk about online poker first. So online poker, I played the most amount of hands that I've ever played. I had a whole week off because it was New Year's, Christmas break. I'm sure many of you guys did too. Happy New Year's, everybody. Happy Merry Christmas. And I lost. So let's pull up those results. All right, so here's my graph for this last week of online playing. I've played 4,000 hands, which is the most hands I've played in a week. And you'll notice the green line has gone down to about $8. So I've lost $8, probably 5 buy-ins. It's about 10 big blinds per 100. So it's not super bad comparatively to like my other losses. But it is a significant loss over a lot of hands too. So yeah, and I'll say I deserve this. It doesn't feel like I'm playing well and I'm just getting, like having bad hands. I'm playing terribly. And I fully acknowledge it. And I think it's because last week I was having like good luck, good variance, and I felt like I was playing a reasonable amount of hands and I was just like in the zone, really paying attention to my hands. This week, I've similar to what I was talking about with the studying, where I just feel like I've hit a point where I'm like, yeah, I could beat NL2 because I did really well last week. And so I wasn't really questioning my plays. I wasn't really thinking about every play as much. And instead, I was just trying to get in value. I opened up more tables than I normally do, like 6 at minimum, but most of the time it was like 8 to 10. And I was just trying to play a lot of hands and not think too much about the hands. I was just like, oh, I'm just going to bet, and people are going to fold, and I'm going to take it all down. And so I was getting into like this mentality where I wasn't like, questioning my plays, and it was causing me to create this graph right here. So I'm glad I had this. This was a wake-up reminder, like, hey, you're still very terrible. Like, don't think you're better. Like, stop like feeling comfortable. You have to always be striving to learn more because you have a lot more to learn. So yeah, this graph shows how terribly I did, and I deserve it. I'll definitely be striving to play better. Yeah, so that was my online poker results. I'm going to make some changes for next week, which is mostly that I'm going to cap myself to only playing 4 tables at a time, because I was playing 6 at minimum, and I was going over a lot of the time. And I noticed my mindset has changed of, I'm just trying to learn and get better at poker, to I'm trying to just get as much volume as I can to get to the long term and like show everybody that I'm a winning player. And I'm not a winning player, and that's not a good way to go about it. And by playing so much volume, I'm not thinking about my plays, which is causing me to not improve. And my goal is to get better, so it's not conducive to my goals. So just for this next week alone, I'm only going to try to do 4 tables max. I'm willing to loosen that restriction right away, right after, but just to kind of get back into the mentality of really thinking about my hands. So that's going to be a thing I change going forward to kind of remedy that situation of like, I'm here to grind. It's like, no, I'm here to play good poker. Focus on each hand and make the best decision at each point, and the rest will come. And then in terms of live poker, I know I said to stay away, and I'm done saying that. I played a lot of live poker this week, and I've won like a good amount, probably 4,000 or 5,000. So by the purposes of the challenge, I think I'm almost basically there. But again, I wanted like the challenge for me of winning 10,000 live poker is like when I start out to do it and I start tracking it. This is just me playing because I like playing. The reason why I keep telling myself to stay away is because before I started this series, I was playing about 10 sessions quickly before the series, and I lost a lot. And I told myself, like, there's no point in me going to play live poker if I'm just going to keep losing. So I'm instead going to play online poker, learn how to play well, and then go into live poker and win. And I also wasn't bankrolled, and losing like $300, $400 a night was like it did not feel good, and it was like not money it was money I could afford to lose, but it was on the cusp. And so I didn't want to go back in unless I was like a winning player online, and then I could convert that to live. But I've been keep going, and I'm winning a lot, so I'm definitely sun running in live, but I mostly think I'm just a player that can win in live specifically. So I don't see it as a problem going anymore, just as long as it doesn't like disrupt other things in my life, which it hasn't. So I don't have any problems with it. I think it was just like a relic of me not wanting to go, and like I have to start at a certain point, like first go home, study, then online, then play live. Like that was my like plan. But I think it's fine to just do all three in conjunction: study, playing online, and live. Like it's all a cycle that works together. All these three things help each other. Studying helps live and online. Online helps live and studying. Like all these things help each other. And so I don't see any problem with going. So I'm going to stop saying I'm putting restrictions on playing live poker. I'm just going to break it up into two categories going forward. But yeah, playing live poker went really well. I definitely won a lot. I've been sun running, but I also think I'm just playing a lot better. I'm learning how to like really be aggressive. A lot of times I'm noticing that I'm the guy at the table that's like the aggressor. Because when I'm at a short stack, because I buy in for a small amount, I buy in for 100. I'm kind of more protective, and I just try to get my stack to a decent number. But once I start getting up some chips, and I get 600-700, and I'm a stack that's formidable, I start being very aggressive. I start pre-flop especially. I start making the pre-flop like 1, 2, 20, and people are like 20. And it's like, but eventually I get the table comfortable for making it 20. It's like I just put in a lot pre-flop because I know that people are willing to play like silly hands. So it's like if you're gonna play silly hands and I'm playing good hands, let's get a lot in pre-flop and let's battle. And so yeah, live poker's been going really well. I'm really enjoying it. Yeah, and that's kind of it for my week. I'm trying to keep this video shorter this week. I don't want to go through too much. I think I've covered pretty much everything that I'm interested in. Just going through so for studying, I'm just going through the course. There's not much to like note on there. For online, I just need to play a little bit less and focus more on hands. For live, just keep playing live, enjoy it. And yeah, and just the biggest thing is just mentality change. You need to start focusing on being a learner instead of just like, I'm going to get really good and have an ego. It's like, that's not the goal. The goal is to always be improving. So yeah, and then in terms of studying and playing, like am I changing any of my requirements? No, keeping them all the same, 15 minutes of studying, 15 minutes of playing online. If I want to go over that, that's fine. I haven't been going over that for a lot this last couple weeks, but I'm fine with keeping those as the minimums. They're comfortable for me. Yeah, nothing too big, just going to keep playing, keep improving. And yeah, that's been my week. Looking forward to the next one. Happy New Year's, everybody. This is Froggy, signing out.